Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are all doing well and having a good day so far. So today I'll be introducing you guys to another stock market terminology, which is the market capitalization, or as most people call it, the market cap. So if you haven't seen my last video yet about the dividend yield calculator, which I have right here, make sure to go check that out before watching this video, because both of these videos are very related topics since they both have to do with the stock market. Now, these formulas I'm teaching you are fairly straightforward and easy to grasp, but as always, feel free to comment down below if you don't understand something or need help, since this is what I'm here for. So please don't hesitate to ask for help. Now let's get started. So for those of you who don't already know, you might be questioning yourself right now. What exactly is a market cap? To that I would say, good question. Let me explain. So the market cap is short for market capitalization, which refers to the total value of a company's shares of stock. When you're finding the market cap of a company, you're basically finding the total value of the company. This will tell investors how much the company is worth when the market is open at that current time. Obviously, throughout the day, the market cap will fluctuate due to the rise and fall of the company's stock price, but that is a normal thing to happen in the stock market. It also reflects on the future prospects of the company, which investors can use to make decisions of whether to buy and invest in the company or not. If the company makes profit, then they will pay a portion of their profit to the investor, since they technically have a small share of ownership in the company. Also, the stock market is usually categorized into 4 groups: mega cap, large cap, mid cap, small cap, and micro cap. Let's quickly go over each one of these categories individually. Depending on how large the market cap is, it will usually fall into one of these 5 categories. Going in descending order, if the market cap is a mega cap, this means that the company's value is worth over $200 billion. If it's a large cap, then the company will be worth between $10 billion and $200 billion. And keep in mind that $200 billion is 20% of $1 trillion, which is absolutely mind-blowing. If it's a large cap, then the company is worth somewhere between $10 billion and $200 billion. If it's a mid cap, then it's going to be worth between $2 billion and $10 billion. If it's a small cap, then the company's value is worth between $300 million to $2 billion. Lastly, if the company is a micro cap, then the company is worth between $50 million and $300 million, which is still a lot, but pretty small for a company. There's also something else called a penny stock, and it's usually traded in at $5 or under. There's a few advantages and disadvantages when it comes to investing in penny stocks, but the disadvantages, in my opinion, definitely outweighs the advantages, because although investing in penny stocks is a quick way to get rich, if you risk too much of your money and something goes wrong, like the company goes bankrupt, then you could potentially lose a lot of money. But since it has such a cheap price, you can also buy a large amount of shares of it, and if the market performs really well, then you can make a ton of money off of all of those penny stocks you've bought. Anyways, enough of me talking, and let's get started building this calculator. Hopefully all that made sense. I'll go over the market cap formula when we start writing JavaScript for the calculator, so make sure to stick around until the end. And now, without further ado, let's get right into the video. Okay guys, so I just jumped into Visual Studio Code. Now let's start coding. So I'll want to create a container and create an H1 inside of it, call it market capitalization, if I can spell it. It's a really long word. Capitalization calculator. Just like that. And create a label, give it an ID of label 1, and we'll create a span, give it an ID of span 1, and in here we'll just type number of outstanding shares, and we'll create an input with the type of number, not button, my bad. It should be number. ID will be amount of shares. And we can create a label and give it a span with the ID of span 2 and just call it stock price. And we'll create an input with the type of number as well. ID will be stock price. And we'll create a button, give it an ID of button, and we'll just call it calculate. And now let's go into our style tags and start styling our calculator. But first let's take a look at what we have so far. So there we go, we have our H1, our 2 inputs, our 2 span tags, and the button. So we can style the body by giving it a background color of this hex color right here, which is this grayish color, just like this one right here. And we can give our container a background color of white. Height will be 500 pixels. width will be 700. Display will be set to flex, so we can use flexbox, and we can do flex direction column. I'm just basically using some basic CSS styles, and we can do position absolute, top 45%, left 50%, transform, translate, -50%, -50%, border radius 10 pixels. And now we're done with our container. It's all set, so let's move on to our next one, which is going to be our inputs. Okay guys, so I skipped forward a little bit to save you guys some time. And now we can move on to our next one, which will be our labels. And we'll just do display flex. Basically all of this right here, so I'll just copy and paste it in here like so. And now we'll move on to our button. Give it a width of 70%, height of 55 pixels, border radius 50 pixels. As long as the border radius is greater than half of the height's value, then it will make the button round all the way. So 50% and 50 pixels will do almost the same thing. And then after that, we can give our button a hover property. We'll just do font size 1.05 ren, label font family sans serif. H1 will be this right here, position relative, bottom will be 70 pixels, and we can style our annual dividend, which is going to be position relative, right 17 pixels, and let's get our span 1 and 2, so we'll just use a comma after it, type span 2, and give them both a position of relative, right of 21 pixels, and let's also give it top 15 pixels, and our last one will be our label 1, which is this right here, this label right here, which I gave an ID of label 1. We'll just do position relative for that, and let's do right 44 pixels. And that should be all we need for our HTML and CSS, so let's jump right into the JavaScript. So I'm going to create these two script tags, and so the formula for the market capitalization is the number of shares outstanding times the stock price. So we can bring in our button and give it an onClick event, and now we'll create a variable called amount of shares and set it to this right here, and we want to get its value that the user typed in, so we have to type .value. And now we'll just want to copy this down and change this to stock price, change this to stock price as well, and this is where we start doing some calculation here. So to get the total cap, we'll just do amount of shares times stock price, and we can do alert total cap. And just to show you that it's working, I'm going to test it out with these two numbers, 50 and 1,000. We should get 50,000 when we hit calculate. Let's see if we do. And as you can see, we do. But let's organize this in a more orderly fashion manner. So let's do if total cap is greater than or equal to 1,000,000, then we're going to do alert number 2 words dot 2 words total cap. If you guys watched one of my videos from a few days ago, you'll know what I'm doing right now. I'm basically going to create another script, set its source to be number 2 words, which I got from that GitHub repository link. If you guys don't have that, I can link that in the description below for you guys to use. So the way we call their number to words converter is by typing number to words dot 2 words, and we'll have a set of parentheses, and inside the parentheses we'll just type in our variable, which is total cap. This should store an integer or some sort. Not an integer, it's going to store some sort of real number. And we can do plus, so we're concatenating some strings here, plus dollars, plus space, or, and leave like 3 or 4 spaces, $, plus total cap. So it's going to alert us both the numerical form of the total cap and as well as the total cap in words. So this will run when the total cap is greater than 1,000,000. But if that isn't true, then we'll just do alert market cap colon space plus total cap plus $. I should have put this at the beginning, so let's fix that. So let's put the $sign right here, which will go right before the total cap. So now if we were to enter in something that will result in something greater than 1,000,000, like this right here, it should display the word form as well as the numerical form. And if we type in something that results in less than 1,000,000, like 4 and 5, we're going to get 20 obviously. Then it's just going to do that without the words form, without converting the market cap into words, essentially. And this is it for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.